Brothers can't afford to get too comfortable, you know, because that's when you become the porn. That's when they use you as. Anytime white people want to smooth some shit over, they go get that rich nigga and put you on TV.
Some people are conscious, some people are not. I can tell he's not conscious. He doesn't really care what's going on. But us, I know that you know, the game that we used to love and we promote, it brings people together. And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer to what this idiot has done.
To represent the people, you know? You have you asking your questions like, Damon, now that you made this $13 million, and we're not counting, now that you made all this money, let me ask you this. Let me just throw this out at you. You respond any way you want. Is there racism in America?
Sure. I think he should have been suspended. I think Adam should have suspended him. First of all, Adam's Jewish. You can't take my $40 million and insult my religion.
You be sitting there thinking about that paycheck talking about.
I can't believe that we ain't talking about that. We're talking about this idiot.
No, sir. If in there is, I ain't seen none.
To piggyback on Stephen A's point about what Ime did, we know his name. Maybe I'm missing something as it relates to the law, but why we don't know her name? It's not like she's a minor. I feel like we should know her name publicly as well. But with that being said, I respectfully disagree with the legend Michael Wilbon. This is why. I feel like he deserves the opportunity to work again. And if he's going to work again, based on that, and if the Nets, who he's familiar with, I'm Jalen Rose, and I would like to apologize for a comment I made earlier on NBA Countdown. I question why a woman's name who had an alleged affair with Celtics head coach Ime Udoka was not made public. After an internal investigation, and it was discovered that she was a subordinate to the head coach, I now understand fully why her name should not be released to the public. Now back to our NBA coverage.
Peace and blessings. Welcome back to Jacob's Ladders, Brother Ezra, Brother Paul. And we just real quick, we just want to give an update, you know what I mean, in between the studies just to keep up, because obviously it's like what they call it, like a developing story. Stuff coming out every single day with it, you know what I mean? Everybody has an opinion, everybody has their own thoughts from different channels, from, I mean, different walks of life, different understandings and stuff like that. So I just wanted to, you know what I mean, just obviously our channel is not, you know, to the point where it's reaching people that don't necessarily know us fully, you know what I mean, but most are willing to get to that point as we continue to put the information out, and then most are willing you guys, you know, like, share, subscribe, you know what I mean, because all that stuff helps out, especially sharing it to other people that you care about, or other people that think they might be interested in those kind of things that we talk about. But I just really want to kind of just go over some stuff that happened really just today. What's today?
The 8th.
The 8th, you know what I mean? So
selection day.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean, for us, you know what I mean, we declared our vote, you know what I mean, real quick. You know what I mean? Definitely put that out there, you know what I mean? Me, Hall, brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, that, you know, decided to come together and cast our vote for Christ. You know what I mean? So I think one thing I gotta get better at, people like, oh, did you vote? I'm like, no, I don't vote. I'm like, oh no, I take it back. I take it back. I did vote. I didn't vote in y'all system, but I did cast my vote for Christ.
Yeah, absolutely. See, that's the funny thing. You tell that to a so-called Christian, even some of these woke Hebrews, which is ironic, but you tell it to them, and they looking at you like you got two heads. Like, man,
you vote for Christ?
Don't you scream? Scream, Yahshua Hamashiach, and Yahushua. You screaming all that, or you screaming Jesus? stuff. He's the Lord. There's nobody but Jesus and all that other kind of stuff. And then we say, okay, let's vote for him and denounce Caesar. And it's like, huh?
Yeah.
Huh? What
Yeah.
is it like? Did you just say the unthinkable? You know, so how dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they say they honor me with their mouth, but their hearts are far from me.
Mm-hmm.
So you can call on his name, sing and praise, and then you turn back around and do everything that Caesar tells you to do. That's contrary to what your Lord and your Savior, your King that you say you worship and follow. I mean, they tell you to do certain things that are contrary to that. And, you know what I mean? You're like, okay, yeah, you know what I mean? Because spiritually, Caesar is really your king. You know what I mean? So it's like you definitely want to watch out for that. Wasn't trying to go into that, but it's, you know what I mean? Definitely, I mean, it's always good to talk about that. But right now, you know what I mean? Like,
well, it goes
into
right
this.
into this because I know we're about to play the clip, but we were talking. I was talking earlier, about Caesar himself, and remember we talked about, the government and all this stuff. They have the sworn oath and duty duty to protect a man's right. They were just talking about the First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of press, which was all violated by corporation. And you heard nobody, well, I haven't heard anybody from government. The government should have been the first ones to rise up and say, hey, what are you guys doing here? That is a violation of his right, and we're going to roll heads if we hear any more about this man's right to free speech, right to whatever. Your corporation, your style, and how you set your corporation cannot infringe on this man's right. So if governments took oath to protect the rights of people under the Constitution, and government is not speaking up, then what government do you have in place? So if that's the case, if you can't identify that, then what are you voting into?
Yeah.
Who are you voting for?
Yeah, and even more so, like we said, you said in the other video, you know what I mean? Like the government created the corporations, but the people created the government.
Right.
You know what I mean? So going back to, you know what I mean, who's supposed to speak up first? It's supposed to be the people.
Right.
Because it's the people are supposed to speak up, and then the government's to speak up, and then the corporation, you know what I mean? Because they go, you know what I mean, everybody's supposed to force each other, you know,
hold each other accountable.
Yeah, hold each other. But we, even when we do speak up, it's like we're not holding them accountable. We're not going to them to hold this accountable for these corporations which they also created.
Yeah, but see, at the end of the day, just like I said, it's an order, and that's just like it was my responsibility to hold the government accountable. So actually, what you would think the people should be going after the government says, hey, go take care of these people because they are stepping out of bounds with it. You know what I'm saying? And the government should be coming down hard on the corporation, saying, look, you guys are stepping outside your bounds. You cannot, if he believes that video is 100% true, you cannot persecute him in your corporation because that's what he believes. Yeah. You cannot try to force him to believe there was untruths in the video. Man, do you really, I mean, in the sense, do you really think this man in his heart believes that there's all these untruths? Or is it just something to appease and calm down the storm? A general statement. He didn't say what was untrue specifically. Maybe they're anti-Semitism or stuff like that, But but he's not going to like, well, I saw this point right here, boom, 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 boom. I didn't agree with this, boom, boom, because of this, boom, 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 boom. No, he's doing it to get the pressure and the weight off the corporations, off their back, which the government, because that's their creation, should have stepped in and do. So like I said, getting back to like when we were talking about vote for Caesar, because it ties into this story, is if you don't have the government that was set up to operate and function in the manner that it should, then what is the purpose for government? Oh, this is election season, so nobody's going to say nothing. Then they're still violating their oath. They're treason. They're acting in the act of treason against the rights and the power of the people. And that's the whole point of when we say, vote for Christ, denounce Caesar. Why would you be a part of this system when they're showing you their blatant hypocrisy? But anyway, I know we got to move on with these videos, but that ties into this.
Yeah, definitely. He said not backing down. stuff like that. I'm not really gonna play this video. This is more so just to bring this up. I'll put a lot of these links into the description of this particular video. Kyrie came out earlier today on Instagram and did a live stream.
If we keep living the same
You know,
lifestyle that we looked at when we were kids and saw like, oh, this is popping. Oh, this is one of the people I need to follow. Like, think about social media in general. Like, you guys are we're just following. I say you guys, no, we are just following people. We're just following people. That is a level of influence that can be dangerous if it's not poured in the right places. And I woke up with this on my spirit because I had to let it off. You know, this was what was called to me this morning. I don't know what exactly, but this is what has been called for me to share with you guys. The elder generation.
So I ain't gonna play, like I said, you guys can go watch it. I think it's like about 27 minutes long, 25 minutes long or something like that. You know, so I'll leave a link in the description for it. You guys can, you know, if you haven't seen it already, just you know, go and listen to what he had to say. You know, I definitely agree with almost everything that he said. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, him pointing to a certain generation, you know what I mean, of people that are not too old, not too young, you know what I mean, that should have real good discernment with the things going on. And that particular clip I just played, I wasn't even trying to click on it. I just try to fast forward to like a decent part, you know what I mean, without no intro on it. But that particular part, he said, you know what I mean, talking about following, like you said in the last lesson we just did, people following, they're you know what I mean, not really awake, you know what I mean, the idolaters that are just following him, you know what I mean, because you know what I mean, the form of idolatry.
They're interested in the topic because of an idol, not because of the truth, and not trying to find out the spirit of the Most High and all that other stuff in Christ.
And through the spirit of the Most High in Christ, it was put on his spirit to come up and be like, I gotta talk about this. You guys we just following people, you know what I mean? Not just, you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, obviously he included himself, you know what I mean?
Right.
Not y'all, you know what I mean? We, you know what I mean? But like dang, next day, you know what I mean? He's out, you know, talking about, hey, y'all just following people on social media, just really, you know what I mean? Like, and if those people are just pouring out whatever, you know what I mean? Like you gotta watch yourself. He came out in his, you know what I mean? That's just go to show you. I wasn't even planning on talking about that, but it just goes to show you that the spirit is moving, you know what I mean, in different ways. Who knows, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? All the different things that was poured into his spirit the last couple of days from just him watching people's videos and listening, and just the Holy Spirit just working on him, you know what I mean, in general. You know what I mean? So it's crazy that, you know what I mean, that's so we just spoke about, and he came out and said that to his, you know, so-called followers, just to get that point across. You know what I mean? He probably could have. I mean, I know this brother can go on and on and on. He tried to keep it short. He tried to end the live stream probably about 5 times, but he just kept having more stuff to say.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I definitely contest to that. You know what I mean? Because it's easy, because it's so much things to try to get across. You know what I mean? But one thing I just wanted to point out was just all the people coming out now after those 6, you know, requirements that Brooklyn. I don't know if it was Brooklyn agreed with the NBA,
No, it was,
or if
it
it
was
was
the
just
Nets. It was the
it was
Nets.
just okay. So just Brooklyn, you know what I mean? The Nets themselves bringing that out, you know what I mean, and all these people coming out, you know what I mean, that were speaking out against him at the beginning of this stuff, you know what I mean, and then now coming out saying, "Oh, we can't stand for this. We want this and this." You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm with Kyrie. It's like, you know, I get the flip flop on a surface level. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? You can't put a, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm gonna say it, because I don't really care too much about these people that don't have our interests at heart. There's a lot of stuff when it really comes down to these people you call, you know, some people call them idols, some people call them, what do they call them, like influences. No, I'm more so talking about um, like people that they look up to. You know what I mean? Like
Mentors.
You know what I mean? And all these different things.
Role models.
Role models is what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? So like Stephen A, Shaq, Charles, you know what I mean? Sharp, You know what I mean? All these brothers that did something with themselves always made it seem like, you know what I mean, we come from the slums. It's like, bro, we all come from that. You know what I mean? Y'all, we're just the pick of the litter that made it to the top. You know what I mean? And that was willing to give up. And there's so many more of our people that are way talented than some of these brothers that made it, but they wasn't willing to give up. You know what I mean? What you'll call their morals. You know what I mean? They stood on something there like, I'm not going to just give up on, you know what I mean? Just give that up for fame and money or whatever. But they're all starting to basically, I won't say backtrack, but, you know, well, this is going too far now and stuff like that. And it's like, man, I just want other people to know, like, don't fall for the trick, the trickery, you know, and, you know what I mean? And they're still checking and driving, you know what I mean? Because they always have to at least get our people on their side a little bit. It can't be completely opposite because we'll just call them out for what it is, you know what I mean? Wholeheartedly, if that's what they choose to do every single time something comes up when it deals with our people, and they know they can't do that, you know what I mean? So, you know, don't fall for the little trickery, the Trojan horse, if you will, of, you know what I mean, them switching sides all of a sudden and acting like they're on Kyrie's side. And you know what I mean, and the rights of freedom of speech and freedom of press and all the other rights that actually supposed to be coming along with that, you know what I mean, let alone what it is that we believe in as Hebrew.
Right. So because you said a lot there. So
My bad. Yeah,
I'll just sew it up with that. Just be aware of those who can argue for argument's sake, both sides of the coin and stuff. So somebody that argues both sides of the coin, they're trying to influence you with no true stance or no true belief. Instead of wherever a narrative is going, and they're going to argue that side. If the narrative is going the other way, they'll flip and argue the other side, and that's a dangerous soul to listen to. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, definitely. Double-minded man.
Mm-hmm. Unstable in his ways.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, you had Jay Williams. I think he came out not too long ago. People said he tried to back him up from the get-go, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Right.
He was one of those that try to speak out on, you know what I mean, the hypocrisy and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So you can go watch this video. He did another video today, going on and Rise for Kyrie calls out Brett Favre and others. You know what I mean? Obviously, you had Brett Favre and him stealing money from the welfare fund to what was it for?
Fund his
volleyball team.
Volleyball team.
You know what I mean? Like, and you guys sweep that stuff, constantly sweeping stuff under the rug. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if it's white, it can be on the floor, but if it's black, we gotta sweep it under the rug. You know what I mean? Like,
and the thing is now, just so that's mentioned, we're definitely not up here like complaining about the situation. Still, once again, we'll always maintain we've put ourselves in this situation through our sins with our forefathers sinned with the Father. So we're serving out a punishment. So it's not like we're complaining about it. It's just bringing awareness so Judah, our people, will be aware of these things so we can turn back to the Most High in Christ and repent and start to gather in our spirit together to fight against this Caesar kingdom and usher in our own. That's all it's about. So just so you know, so we understand. We take the punishment for what it is. It's the Father's chastisement.
Yeah. And also for the other nations that do have that spirit of that actually I'll say that don't have that spirit of hatred towards Israel, and actually do care about our people but don't have the understanding of what's going on. It's for them also. You know what I mean? Because just because they have a lack of understanding but they do have compassion for our people, doesn't mean we lump them in with everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they do. You know what I mean? So
if you down for doing the will of the Father, you're my brother.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But the only thing is, you're not. That doesn't make you an Israelite.
Yeah.
But but you're my, your brother. You do the will of the Father. Yeah. So that's how that goes.
Future too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So and you know what's crazy is our people have been doing that since we got here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's why a lot of our people still complain about why are we forgiving everybody? Why we do this? Why are our people the only ones that do this? Because you were made in the image of the Most High.
Well, you're Christ's bloodline.
Yeah, you gonna be just like
you have the direct genetics of Christ. So
they don't understand. And our people don't understand.
It's like it's a disease. Why do I keep forgiving? I'm so angry right now, but I have no choice but to forgive, and it's just I can't help myself.
Yeah.
Well, that's the genetics of Christ to me. So just put it.
Yeah. Just embrace it, man. Mm-hmm. Just gain that understanding. You know what I mean? So, just to go on a little bit more. So, oh goodness, real quick. So,
all right, you guys, some pro basketball updates. Hit the like, hit the subscribe.
I ain't gonna play this particular one. He had Amari Stoudemire. So brothers and sisters that have been in the truth for a while, you would have heard. You know what I mean? Amari Stoudemire said that he actually grew up knowing that he was an Israelite from his mother and his grandparents and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? He said he knows he's an Israelite, and he came out. You know what I mean? There's songs with him. You know what I mean? People talking about him. You know what I mean? Being an Israelite, so it's not necessarily a secret in the realm of people that are awakened to the truth. But the way he spoke when they brought him on TV, national TV, the other day was as if Kyrie needed to apologize. And to be honest, he don't need to apologize for anything because first of all, the stuff that they put in those newspapers and those articles and stuff like that were already a lie to begin with. You know what I mean? Which I ain't gonna say if he did or he didn't, but if Amari Stoudemire watched the actual documentary movie, why would you come out and tell the brother he needed to apologize if what they're trying to make him apologize wasn't even in the movie to begin with? You know what I mean? Why would you even come on TV and fix your face to even say something like that, and then come around and try to get at Kanye West or Ye because Ye called him out on it? You know what I mean? Like. You know what I mean? And then Amari Stoudemire came back out and said, I never told him to apologize for being an Israelite. You know what I mean? I never apologized. I never said to him to apologize for that. Which is, it's fine, but it's like, bro, you shouldn't have came out to tell him.
My thing is, if there's something that's offensive, tag it. What point of the movie? At 3:30, at 2:55 to 2:60 something or whatever, a point of the movie. This is where it's talking about this, and this, and this is what we have a problem with. Yeah. And hopefully it's legit, but they don't do that because they know it's not about that. It's about the fact that he posted Hebrews to Negroes, wake up Black America. That's the issue.
Yeah, and it's not even the Hebrews to Negroes. It's the wake up Black America.
Yeah, well,
a call to wake us up.
Yeah, to Hebrews, they're married to each other.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's the part that, you know what I mean, the fact that it's a call, that part where it says, wake up. Mm-hmm. Wake up. You mean, this is letting us know that we've been asleep. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I like I said, I ain't going to touch too long on some of these subjects. I ain't going to play a lot of these videos. I'll tag most of these things inside the description. I do want to play a clip from what happened earlier with Nick Cannon, because he came out. We obviously know the whole story behind that. Don't even need to go into that. But he's even wearing Cannon's class, which is, you know what I mean, what he was doing when he got blasted for what he said with Professor Griff in a little interview that he did. But anyway, I'm gonna play this clip real quick on him supposedly standing up, you know what I mean, or in support of Kyrie Irving after his tweet.
Wholeheartedly say, I know Kyrie Irving is not anti-Semitic.
When given the chance to say, are you anti-Semitic or not, he didn't say, no, I'm not anti-Semitic. At the press conference, tell us about that movie, White Did. He said, stop dehumanizing me. And the movie is saying white Jews invented the Holocaust and 6 million Jews didn't get killed. Okay, I know that isn't right.
Pause. It didn't say that. He just said that it did. Didn't he just say that? He said in the movie that it said that the Jews invented the Holocaust.
You know. And then okay, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, it's fine.
No, it's this is what you got. There's a court of law that is done in a courtroom, and then now you have the media. We you talk about is doing court, but the thing is with the media, they don't have to bring forth facts. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're bringing forth that type of fact, bring the receipt. Where was that stated in that 3.5 hour movie? Like, do your notes. Put your notes together. Okay, at this point to this point, this is what it's talking about. So I'm referencing, just like if you're in college, you write a paper, you got a reference.
Yeah. What do you call them, Cliff Notes?
Yeah, Cliff Notes and all that stuff. Where did you get your information? And so you just don't put this information down on paper. And this is such a pivotal thing where you're doing accusations. Who's the accuser of the brethren? You know, all these false accusations. They're doing all these accusations against the brother, but not bringing anything to even say, okay, they said it in there, then where did it say it? So we can all check to see, but nobody wants to be found out a liar.
Yeah.
And stuff. So they're just making blanket statements and have the people, the feeble-minded people, to believe it and try to have them like what? Scared or whatever to go watch the video or whatever, or even believe the information that's in it because they're terrified because they don't want to be considered some kind of anti-Semite.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not afraid. To quote Kyrie, I can't be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. Anyway,
so how can I be?
But
it's a question back at you.
Yeah, but
that wasn't even answered.
Yeah, nope. They never even touch on that. They won't touch that.
We ask the questions. You don't ask us no questions. Yeah. We ask the questions. Well, hey, man, you're coming at me with something, so you need to establish your end right here. How can I be anti-Semitic when I know where I'm coming? Won't you answer that? Seeing that you're coming to me with this smoke, but nobody's holding them accountable. To that.
No.
That people run over that as if that wasn't even. That's insignificant.
Didn't even get spoken.
Right, exactly. That's why we talk about this stuff. This is where our passion comes from, because our people are receiving this information, but we really got to hold this information to the fire. Not necessarily them, but each other as we process it, so we can collectively see what's going on with our people.
And stuff like this has been happening for generations on even just smaller scales, not even having to do with media and stuff like that. We deal with stuff like this at the jobs, just in public, especially dealing with the police or the slave patrol. We deal with the same type of things. You know what I mean? I dealt with that. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I ain't even gonna go into that. You know what I mean? But one thing you said, and now that I think about it, so Most High One, I know Ron Dalton got a lot of people in his corner, especially now. But I've seen multiple people take other people or corporations to court because of them spewing disinformation. Oh man. Then they do that to those white kids at that one rally because they got spoken about over the news. You know what I mean? Them antagonizing the natives at that one thing. Yeah. All of a sudden they all got paid. Yeah. Okay, I want to see all these news agencies and all these reporters, ESPN, all these sports agencies that keep saying the same talking points come back and pay Ron Dalton Jr. for the information that he put and that he put well together in a short period of time, because 3.5 hours ain't enough to expose all the lies and reveal all the truths. You know what I mean? They all need to pay him because now they're lying on what he wrote. Y'all are doing the same thing. It's slander. So take him to court and get that stuff documented. Get it documented. Get it into the court systems to prove that these people are lying about what they're saying, and have it become the number one selling book, not just on Amazon anymore. Have it be the number one seller across the world. Or now maybe not number one, maybe number two. It'll be number two because the Bible was number one, right, which is the source that created the number one, the second most selling book once it happens. You know what I mean? Right. But that's what was it called? The of them lying about what he said.
Slander,
slander, and disinformation that they try to expose, and it's like y'all are literally just doing the same thing you accuse us of, what you always been doing. Accuses us of doing certain things, and it's actually y'all doing it. And our people are tired of it. And it doesn't matter who it is. You mean whether they know they're Hebrew Israelites or not, whether they know that, the system is crooked or not, whether they want to be the people that went out and voted today because they don't really understand what's going on. They're still standing up.
Or let's just say voted in this system.
Yeah.
Because if they voted right.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah. You're right. We voted today.
No, we didn't. We voted.
We voted. It was nighttime.
But it's nighttime now, so.
Okay, my bad. Yeah. So we voted yesterday. What I mean? At sundown.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, that's yeah. Most time when I'm, what I mean? Maybe I'll have to reach out to Rondo, see if he even thought about doing something like that, just to get on a bigger stage than what it is. You know what I mean? To keep pressing. You know what I mean? I think it's time for our people to actually go from the defensive to the offensive. You know what I mean? In certain extents, when it presents itself, especially when they're the ones that actually cause this in the first place. This is y'all seen us on offense just trying to help our own people out, stay in our own quarter. That's basically what Kyrie was doing. And y'all came up over here trying to do unnecessary defense. And now y'all done turn the ball over, and it's time for us to go on the offense and get this score for our people. You know what I mean? Basketball ref. I'm gonna keep playing. I'm gonna finish playing this video.
There's a gigantic historical record. Jewish people know when you dehumanize us this way, we know what's around the corner.
So in that same statement,
what do you mean by that? When you dehumanize us, we know what's around the corner for what?
Like I said, these are slanderous type. They're making broad stroking statements, but he's saying it. How was you dehumanizing, and what was said that's going to lead to what's coming around the corner within it? There's no evidence. He's just making broad stroking statements to it.
Trying to appeal to the emotions of people, like
right.
Oh, well, you dehumanized us, so now we know stuff like that happens. We will have another Holocaust on the so-called Jewish people. What are you talking about?
Right. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous in its inception. Like, man, what are you guys hiding? What is it you're hiding? Because you guys are getting sensitive about the simplest thing. I mean, anybody, if you are standing in a position of a right situation, then it should be easy to stand firm on whatever it is that you're standing on. And it shouldn't be you ask a question and all of a sudden you run to, oh, you're hating on me. Wait a minute, bro. If we're saying something wrong, point it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's not what happens. It's like you're not even able to even raise the conversation. So it's pointless.
It's just like when people lie and someone catches them in the lie and they get mad that they got caught in the lie. It's like, why are you getting mad?
And trying to flip it around.
And try to flip it around. It's like, you can't, that's not justified, bro. You got caught in a lie. Why are you getting mad at me? Because you got caught.
Oh, when you dehumanize us this way, we know what's around the corner.
So in that same statement as those are the tropes that dehumanize Jewish people, the same buck breaking.
What's that? I don't really know what that means, to be perfectly honest.
The slave masters would bring the buck, the one that gets out of line. So all the other slaves would see lash after lash, show them the power to set an example. This is what you must do to fall in line. So when we see the 6 things that Kyrie must do to get his job.
So
listen up. It's just
my bad. But when you
here we go with that promoting, man.
Yeah, I know, man. You know what I mean? Like, but here we go again. Like, they don't have to know. I think I played it on one of the songs at the end of what was it? I think it was Vote for Christ or one of those. You know what I mean? I played a song. You know what I mean? And at the end it said, you know what I mean? They asked certain people, white people. You know what I mean? At a certain time Was, you know what I mean? Do you feel like it's equal for black and whites? And they say, yeah, you go back, you know what I mean, like to the wealthy was like 63, you know what I mean, 64, you know, and go back a little bit further. They always felt the same way. And it's like it clearly wasn't it wasn't equal back then. It clearly wasn't. And then you ask people now, they can say, oh yeah, it wasn't equal back then. But it's like you know, you're not paying for it, so it's easy to say that it's not equal back then. You know what I mean? And you don't really care because you don't have to know. You can continue on with your life. So just like that dude that just said, you know, I don't know what that means. He don't know what it means because he doesn't have to know. He has a system behind him that is completely, you know what I mean, for him to where he doesn't have to know that. Why would I need to know that?
Sensitive
You know what I mean? I could just lack
of sensitive training.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So anyway, so I do want to play this other video from Kenya, Israel. I'm just gonna play his video. It's short, it's only 4 minutes or 45 seconds, just so just showing 4 minutes and 46 seconds. Dang, I might cut it off a second early. You never know. But just showing what the press release that Ron Dalton did on you know, addressing the media and things like that. I know this video is going well past what I wanted it to be, but it is what it is.
The following is a written statement, a press release from Hebrews to Negroes, Ron Dalton Jr.
There you Hopefully, brother, don't be true.
I vehemently deny any allegations made by the Rolling Stones, the ADL, and media that the Holocaust never happened, and that my books and movies make that claim. I respectfully request that everyone take the time to watch my films and read my books, and you will discover that this claim is false, and that my films do not promote terrorism, bigotry, anti-Semitism, or other hateful ideologies. I reject and condemn any forms of prejudice or hatred towards any person, regardless of their race, religion, ethnicity, lineage, ancestry, or sex.
Man, that sounds very similar to what Kyrie said, and this came out today. And Kyrie said what he said the other day. Just to go to show y'all, like, we don't have that hatred in our heart. We never really had that. There might be individual people with wicked spirits. I mean, every nation has those kind of people, but our people are not like that.
And a lot of it from our people comes from a lot of anger, hurt, and pain.
Yeah.
And not harnessed, you know, in a righteous direction. It's not just waking up today, I just want to take, you know, harm somebody just because of whatever. There's a lot more going on there.
So the last time Israelite came in and started, you know what I'm talking about, to random people, because you know what I mean, even with all that hurt, you know what I mean, and trauma through our generation, still go out and do reckless things like that.
As well as violence, racism, bullying, discrimination, black Jew phobia, and the misuse of the term anti-Semitism. The African diaspora that was sent to the Americas and the Caribbean via the transatlantic slave trade are ethnically the Israelites of the Bible, from the lineage of Shem. Therefore, myself and anyone today who is a descendant of Shem's 5 sons cannot be anti-Semitic. As a Shemite, I am against any form of anti-Semitism in America or worldwide. Racism, scapegoating, and non-conforming, as well as unfair tactics that hold communities of color responsible for societal problems, must stop. Kyrie Irving shouldn't receive backlash on a film that I created. This is yet another example of a system that disregards and minimizes the lives of colored people, shows how far from an equitable society we still are. It is our collective duty to create a society where everyone has the same opportunities, irresponsible of their race, religion, ethnicity, or sex. Freedom of speech and freedom of expression should not be seen as an infringement, but unfortunately, based on what we have seen lately in the news, this is a sad reality in America. We definitely have more work to do to fix this. I am dedicated to collaborating with all groups to make it possible for people from all backgrounds to watch the documentary Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, just as one might watch the 1977 Roots TV miniseries, which is shown annually every February during Black History Month. The mass media relies on promoting exclusivity, stoking fear, and assigning blame to those that go against their narrative. Everyone should be free to approach their past without worrying that they will be singled out, vilified, and bullied. I implore everyone to take the time to read my books, watch my movie documentaries, then fact check everything so that we all can have a full understanding of the true history of Black people in the diaspora, which is now being told from a different perspective. Using the study of history, theology, geography, cartography, biology, craniology, odontology, genetics, linguistics, archaeology, anthropology, and more, I provide the evidence to substantiate that the information in my visual and literary work is indeed factual. Hopefully, after all this is done, we can begin to forge a nation founded on our complete history. I pray that we are able to continue to bring people together of all backgrounds to embrace historical events and facts that are not detrimental to the progression of our society as a whole.
See, there's an example in that perfect, because there's something that he said that I don't agree with, and I'm not gonna just throw out this whole film because I got disinformation or he said that. I can't make sure nobody looks at this film.
Mhm.
You know, us as God's people, us as the Hebrews, us as the Israelites, it is not our job to fix this system. We are shining a light on darkness. This system is dark. It's going to stay dark until it gets destroyed. It's us as Israelites to shed light on the evil of this system. The Bible says, love not the world and the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Then he also said, come out of her, my people. So there's no trying to fix the system and stuff. So I disagree there, but however, I'm not going to throw out all his information because I disagree with that point.
Yeah.
And stuff. And that's it. And that's the same thing with Kyrie and stuff. You know, I mean, I don't know what points he disagree with, agree, whatever, but it should be the same with any man. It's like, look, man, this is a good film, bro. I ain't going and all this other stuff. But I don't agree with everything you're saying, but it's enough. You got to use your own discernment. And if there's certain things that you want to know my take on it, I'll tell you the little points that I disagree on. But I say everything else, man, hey, I'm on board with it if that's the case. Well, just real quick, and that's with almost everything in the world. Because what is 100% pure in the world?
Just talking about.
You know what I'm saying? But go ahead,
Yeah. Well, no, it's just, and I understand what he said when he said it. I think this particular what he wrote pertaining to that particular part, you know what I mean, that you said as far as fixing it, he knows it's not going to be fixed because when you go and watch, he knows this system's not going to be fixed. You know what I mean? He's a big advocate of helping our people already leave this continent to go over back to Africa. But him putting that in there is more so just he's appealing to the broadness of this whole situation because I'm pretty I want to say I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time he got this much exposure. You know what I mean? For having or even having exposure to even deal with something like this. You know what I mean? Having to put something out that is dealing with multiple different genres, multiple different categories of businesses, multiple different sectors of religions and races or nations and stuff like that. It's you know what I mean. So it's kind of like almost like his you know what I mean. Well, he almost had to do what Kyrie was doing. You know what I mean? Like carefully choosing your words. But I definitely don't. You know what I mean? Like I'm not to say you know what I mean. That's what you were saying. It's just I just you know what I mean. When he said fixing, you know what I mean, to fix this, he's like no. It's if anything, it's fixing. You know what I mean? Hope. The way I took it, you know what I mean. It's almost like reading in between the lines for us, especially like when we watch it, we're gonna see, you know what I mean, certain things. Oh, he said it this way because of this. You know what I mean? Versus the other people are gonna be like, oh man, it's almost like what do you say, like a spoonful of sugar. You know what I mean? Help the medicine go down. You know what I mean? Like
It's like a roundabout way to follow Christ, because we'll say it straight up. It's like, look, this system's about to blow.
Yeah, it's like, I can't
so
put
your
that.
Your only way out is get on board with the true message of Christ, and the Hebrews that's walking in the gospel and the spirit and love and all that other stuff that Christ told us to walk in. Them the ones we probably gonna get that information.
Yeah, you're not gonna put that in.
Yeah.
It's like I gotta you know what I mean? Like I gotta cast this net as wide as possible and be careful with the words, you know what I mean? Because especially because if he does it the right way, they can't get at him. You know what I mean? They can't get at him. So yeah, it's gonna make it and that just that part right there, you know what I mean? For some people that not even in the system in terms of having any kind of like real influence or power, just the layman people that are stuck in that system, they're gonna be like, man, you know what I mean? He's not against the system, you know what I mean? Like America's gonna live on. You know,
what can we do? What can we do to fix it?
Yeah.
What's your suggestion? Let's get a committee together.
He's not against it. He's not against it. He wants his child to help us fix it.
It's not even a point of being against it. It's like it's a hopeless system. It's like, hey, bro, I'm just walking towards my kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want no part of this.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in ignorance and I knew nothing different, I mean, okay, but you know, now that I understand the frustration that I always grew up with, now that I understand why it's in place, of course, I mean, only a crazy man would want to stay in this system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you know what I mean, obviously, like again, going back just to try to shorten this back down. Initially this is supposed to be 20 minutes. 20-minute quick take. Obviously we can't do this on this channel. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'll pray on it. You know what I mean? To see if the Most High work on us to be I think it's just too much information, you know what I mean? And we love y'all. You know what I mean? And this information just needs to be out there, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean, obviously we got so much built up things that we do want to put out, and this just being such a huge thing right now, you know what I mean? Like we have so much to say, you know what I mean, on so many different subjects because it's touching all walks of life right now, you know what I mean, which is not normal for us, you know what I mean? And it's gonna become more normal, obviously, because everybody's gonna have to know who we are to get to the point where they, you know what I mean, the Most High in Christ is gonna force them to give us our just due before we leave out of here, just like we did, our ancestors did in Egypt. But you know, real quick, you know, Jaylen Brown, I think he's the vice president of the players committee or whatever for the NBA.
Yeah.
I don't know who's president. I know it used to be.
I forgot the guy.
It used to be Chris Paul, but I think it's actually what's his name from Pelicans now. They used to play for Portland. I don't know. I keep getting his name right now, but anyways, you know, I mean, he came out and standing up for Kyrie. You know what I mean, and those requirements and stuff like that. And obviously, the requirement thing put a lot of people on notice when it comes to, you know what I mean, you know what it is they're trying to do. You know what I mean, going back to what I said about Ye. And you know what I mean, that what he was trying to point out when it comes to these companies and who runs what, and you know what I mean, and all those type of things.
It was almost like a setup, right?
Yeah,
Ye speaks about it, and then this thing goes with Kyrie, and then everything that Ye said, oh, he's crazy. Oh, he's attacking of it, and it all plays out.
He a genius, man. He keeps saying he's speaking into the future. You know what I mean? He sees the future. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he's seen this coming. I can't speak to that, but
couldn't have scripted
you know what
better.
I mean? Yeah. Hey, you know, Kyrie's definitely set it up for the. You know what I mean? He was exposing them before they actually exposed themselves. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, oh y'all, they just, you know, it is what it is.
Keep calling me crazy and see what happens.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, he came out, you know what I mean? You have multiple other players coming out, and then obviously you got the
The Nets have suspended Kyrie Irving, as you know, for a minimum of 5 games on this potential appeal.
I 1,000% agree with Jaylen Brown. I stand with him. And I know that's saying a lot because we know how critical I can be and have been of Kyrie Irving. But this is excessive. The fact of the matter is that right now you're engaging in emasculation based on the reports about how the Nets have a checklist of things that they need Kyrie Irving to do. Okay, now be clear, Tim Legler. He brought it on himself.
That's enough. I get tired of that. You know what I mean? He flip flop. You know what I mean? Just doing his little, you know what I mean, shuck and jive. You know what I mean? I can't stand it too much. Used to be entertaining to me, but when it comes to stuff like this, it's like, bro, you overstepping your bounds when it comes to the importance of our people getting out of the snares of our enemies. You know what I mean? Like, we already got the curses of our people dealing with whatever, and then for you to come up and just help our enemies, you know what I mean, hold our people down. Like, I can't get with it. You know what I mean? And for you, especially for people that have money and access, it can't be a lack of information. You know what I mean? It definitely can't be a lack of information. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? I know people post and write, and you know what I mean. It's too much for it to be a lack of information for brothers like this, brothers like Shaq and Charles and stuff like that. And I ain't gonna get into the whole boule. If you see any of these brothers with this that look like him, they're in there for a reason. You know what I mean? You got plenty of pictures to show you that they're part of the Prince Hall Freemasons and the boule and things like that. If you don't know what that is, look it up. I'm done. I'm done.
Just be aware of certain attributes. The Bible says, "Try every spirit," and one of the things that you just see in all these guys that are talking. You telling me all these brothers that are in our mainstream media, none of them believe that we're the Hebrews? Mm-hmm. Not one of them has saw that whole thing and says, I don't believe that we're Hebrews. Every single last one of them. And if not one of them say, you know what, I agree with, the film saying that we're Hebrews, but I can't even, still, if you're going to say there's some anti-Semitic or whatever they trying to say it said, you got to tag where that's at. You can't just do blanket statements and having everybody running around. Oh, it speaks about hate. He ain't even saw the film. It's like, where is it at in the film? Where is it at? Yeah. Tag it so we can all go to that one. Go buy the film just to look at that one part. Skip through everything else just to look at that one part where it's supposed to say what you say it said. And they don't do it. So getting back to what I'm saying, you telling me not one of these brothers, not one of them, believe that we're the Hebrews. And then and seeing that this controversial situation is on the table, you're telling me that these guys are free-thinking men commenting on all of this. Mm-hmm. Because if you believe already in your mind that we're Hebrews and you're a free-thinking man and you're gonna give honest reporting, then you would say it.
That's one of the reasons I denounced that Judas spirit the other day. Mm-hmm. That's that Judas spirit, selling our brethren for that money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We're seeing it on full display right now. I listened to some other brothers earlier today. They ain't asking the so-called white commentators that are up there surrounded by brothers. They don't say nothing about it.
Yeah.
They'll
direct. So what do you think?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? What's your thoughts on it? And gets Judah to just stick his big foot in his mouth.
Yeah. All y'all talking.
And then, if Esau do speak on it, he's gonna make sure Judah speak first.
Yeah.
And then he said, yeah, I kind of agree with what you said. And let me just elaborate a little bit more on what you said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. I mean,
yeah.
It's no new thing under the sun. Mm-hmm. And you got to try the spirits and just see what's going on.
Yo, that's them going back. Yeah, that's them going back to their ancestors, Pontius Pilate. They out there like, I ain't killed this man. I ain't killed. I'm washing my hands. Y'all said, you know what I mean? Go ahead and release him, suspend him. Y'all said suspend him. Charles said suspend him. I didn't say suspend him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We just doing what your people said we should do. So yeah.
You know what I mean?
You all know what the time it is, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Brooklyn Nets was like, you know what I mean? Take Kyrie. Give us Russell Westbrook. Oh, goodness. But anyway, you know, that's that on that, man. It's sad to see. You know what I mean? More so what's going on with brothers with that Judas spirit, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, on the big screen and even not on the big screen with just full lack of understanding and just indoctrination into the system, which is one of the things that Kyrie talked about. So I definitely recommend you guys go and watch that interview, or not interview, but that post that he did on Instagram Live of him just talking, trying to speak his mind, somewhat coded. He even talks about him saying certain things a certain kind of way. For those that understand, they will understand it. You know, if you feel left out, then that's on you. I would say, you know what I mean? It's time for you to start studying.
And the thing is, there's people around you that you could talk to privately instead of going after an idol, giving you general statements. Then you listen to the brothers right around you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, how can you love a brother that you haven't seen, but you can't love your brother that you see every day? You know what I'm saying? You got access to certain people that can edify this straightforward for you, but you want to choose to look to an idol, then you won't get those type of responses.
You want to get information from Rolling Stone saying that there's anti-Semitic tropes or, you know what I mean, whatever in there. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you know what I mean? Go ahead and listen to that, and then everybody else run with it without actually watching it. You know what I mean? Just to see that it doesn't even say anything about the Holocaust not even being real. It's not even in there. It's not even in there. Kyrie could have addressed that. I'm pretty sure he could have addressed it. But he knew if he tried to go and do the whole disinformation thing with the media, that wasn't going to work out well. So he had to play, you know what I mean? He had to walk that fine line.
Right, yeah. Once you start answering specific questions, then that just opens up the floodgates of a whole bunch of different madness and stuff. That's why he flipped it back on him. He said, how can I be anti-Semitic when I know where I come from?
Yeah, he even said, I don't understand how I keep getting put in this, like, why y'all keep asking this particular question to me, you know what I mean, when it's not even warranted for, like, what it is that I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah.
And then what does the ownership of the team do? He's going to persecute him for him not taking accountability in front of the press, as if it's a court.
Yeah.
As if it's a court. They're antagonizing him just like these so-called lawyers do.
Yeah.
That's why we're saying you got to understand what's taking place.
Well, yeah, with that, you know, like I said, I'll put most of these links in there. You know what I mean? Just watch out for those you know, those trap doors, the Trojan horses and things of that nature. Study, watch the video, support Brother Ron Dalton, even though it gives money to what's his name. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, go to H2N TV.com and purchase it on there from the website. Go to his website, HebrewsandNegroes.com, or I think it's H2N.TV. .com or something like that, and get it from there. Don't go to Amazon. Don't go to Vimeo. You know what I mean? If you can actually get it from his own website or whatever, and support him that way. You know what I mean? And actually gain understanding of what's going on via the source versus what they're saying. You know what I mean? So, anything else you want to?
No, I'll just leave it at that.
All right. We keep going on and on and on.
Right, yeah.
You
This
know what I mean?
20-minute video that we were supposed to
Yeah. Sorry, y'all. It's an hour now. It's 20 minutes. We went 40 minutes over. Just a little bit over. Just a little bit.
You gotta put a multiplication number behind that. Yeah, man, we're gonna go 20 minutes times 3.
Yeah, just times 3. Not too much. You know what I mean? There's plenty of videos. There's plenty of things, commentary that people are discussing right now. It's just a big deal for those that, you know, like you just said. You mean those that if you're watching this video, or if you watched, you know, we can go at the end now. But if someone sent this video to you, you know what I mean, like wholeheartedly, like hit those people up, hit us up. You know what I mean? You can hit me, you know, specifically, you know, Businessbrew 20 at gmail.com. That's always in the description. And then we got the Hebrew Christ Gospel Channel email also in there. And then my name is Ezra. You can find me on Instagram or on Facebook. So it's EZRAEL. You know, Yasharala. That's and say that's on Instagram, Facebook. But you know, the time for our people to wake up is happening. You know what I mean? And you know, one thing I actually didn't bring up real quick is I think this is very similar to the Pharaoh having his heart hardened. You know what I mean? And those things exposing it to our people that it is time for us to, you know what I mean, trust in the Most High, trust in what it is he's going, you know what I mean, is going to happen while these plagues are going down around us. You know what I mean? We see the hearts of these people being hardened, where it's like it's clear you're in the wrong. You're clearly in the wrong, and you don't care. Your heart is hardened, and you're going to try to continue to do what is wrong. As we're crying for our reparations right now, we got brothers out there trying to do what they can for reparations. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean, that is part of our deliverance as well. You know what I mean? But it's not the whole thing. We need restoration, but that it's all coming back. Again, the second Exodus is going to mirror the first Exodus, and it's going to be far greater to where the first Exodus is not even spoken of. You know what I mean? So you just, you know, get ready for that and just see the signs of the times. And we'll speak on those signs in probably part 3 or 4 of this, you know, you know, I don't know what you call it anymore. It's going to be a long run on sentence. You know what I mean? Until this stuff, you know what I mean? I don't think it's going anywhere for a while, but we're going to keep touching on it. But when it comes to the scriptures and trying to point out what's going on in the scriptures, that's mirroring what's going on today, it's going to be at least another two lessons, maybe 3 lessons coming out on those things. So, yeah. Sorry. I don't really know, man, but yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I didn't speak on that, you know what I mean? But definitely, you guys, you know, study and see what's going on. This, you know what I mean? The book is a living book. It's a living book. So if it's a living book, that means the things that are in that book should be, you know, playing out to this very day, all the way until the end of time. So, that being said, we just want to say peace and blessings and repent. Both for Christ.
That's right.
For the kingdom of heaven is at hand. What you say?
Nah, that's right.
It ain't never too late. You can vote any day. You can vote every day.
No, look, the thing is, as far as the denouncing Caesar part, it's like, so you can always repent, but it's you now you got to deal with being in their registry for another 2 years.
Yeah. Maybe if there's a way to figure out how to deregister yourself, then go on deregister yourself. Or if you gotta fake your death so they take you off,
rescind your signature.
You know what I mean? Fake your death, or AKA get baptized and repent in Jesus' name. Ain't gonna take you off the registry, but at least do that. You know what I mean? So,
but, the father winks at a pastime ignorant. So, you know, for those, especially those that didn't know the stuff, but you still have to deal with being in the registry.
Yeah. So, we don't know the exact time of our deliverance out of this place, but we know it's definitely coming soon. So, get that oil in your lamp ready. Definitely sending out prayers to Brother Kyrie, you know what I mean, and what it is he's trying to do.
And all these brothers for repenting too, as well, because Father Christ redeemed. I mean, I'm pretty sure Nicodemus, even though he was coming down in the download dealing with Christ, he I don't know if what his ultimate end was, but maybe there's some levity there, and of course Paul, he turned himself. So
Paul was an OG. He's out there murking. He was taking people out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And he turned him around. So brothers ain't, they ain't out here killing brothers physically. You know what I mean?
Spiritually is worse.
Spiritually, you know what I mean? Spiritually, they're out here doing some damage. You know what I mean? And shutting up the gates to the kingdom to some of our people with the things that they're saying. But once I win, they repent from it. So yeah, love y'all. We'll see you soon. Well, not see you. Tune back in. All right, I'll praise the Most High.
Shalom.
That's where I sit.
I think what people want to hear, though, is just a yes or no on that question. Yes or no.
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
What does that mean?
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
Kyrie, did you personally meet with the ADL?